If it's undercovered, underreported, or a waste of time, you can be sure we'll be heard. Nothing is off limits.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio. I'm Michael Morris. Again, we're going back to back with my good friend Kendra Carter, who said she loves back to back. So, Kendra, first of all, welcome back to the show. Your complaint is...
Are we back?
Yep, we're back. I want to highlight the fact that Kendra was concerned that we're wearing the same outfits from last time. That doesn't matter.
Same makeup.
We're just doing this in the same day, so we don't have to try to get her back caffeinated up another week from now. This saves us all time, so Nate can go home and see his kids for an hour a week. Kendra, the topic I want to talk about, because you are, I'm not going to call you a former athlete because you're still technically, like, you're prepping for a show, right? A bodybuilding show. What would you call it? A wellness show? Bikini? What would you call it?
Well, there's lots, but like the women's fitness competitions where they put on the sparkly bikinis, they're called figure suits or posing suits, but I do the fitness one. So I put on like a bedazzled unitard or something along those lines, and I do the flips and stuff. So it's like a gymnastics muscle beauty pageant.
The way you just described it, 30 people just threw up. I do want to talk about a unitard swimmer, because it's all the rage to have this debate that seems to be going one way about, I believe the name is Leah Thomas. I think when this lady was a man, I think her name was like Chuck Strong. I don't remember what the other name was, but this man is swimming against women. I'm sorry, I don't even know how to say it. This Leah Thomas is swimming and blowing away all these women's swimming records. The reason I wanted to talk about it was twofold. I want to get your opinion as somebody that has been an athlete their entire life, still is competitive in their life. What is your take on it? And it can be from the secular world take if you want, but I would like to know your opinion because, well, first of all, just tell me what your thoughts are on it.
Okay. First of all, for those of you just tuning in, this is my 5th now episode on this show. And what happened on the 2nd episode, I made the mistake of telling Michael, our host, that I only listen to Christian radio.
First of all, why do you call our host as though we're not friends, as though we don't know each other?
I don't know why I said it that way, but...
Put that in the corrections at the end, Nate.
I made that mistake, and I don't want to be identified as only the secular music girl because whatever. Yeah. What was the question?
The question was only about secular music. No, the question is, how do you feel about, and again, I'm not sure how to classify this because I don't know that this is a transgender. I think they're identifying as a woman. So I'm not sure if they have transitioned or whatever you call it. And I'm not trying to hate on anybody for it. Let's put it this way. I don't care what anybody does. As I said during the pandemic, I was the only person rooting for the pandemic. I wanted everyone to get wiped out. I don't like people. I don't care what your race is, your religion, whatever your gender is. Wipe them all out. Okay. So I think
start fresh. Start from
not
scratch.
Start fresh. I've said this before. When I watched the movie I Am Legend, it's a man and his dog. Utopia. I wouldn't care if everybody was gone and it was just me, and I would restart a Blockbuster video just for myself.
So you're talking about the resurrection. We're back to the Jesus thing again.
Nope, I don't even want him to come. I don't need anybody else here.
Now.
Listen, if
it's
I get
pearly gates, man.
I don't want to go
There's
anywhere.
many mansions.
If everyone was wiped out, I would still live in Grove City, Ohio. I would still live in my house.
That is a bold-faced lie.
That is, I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
Grove City, Ohio is the Manhattan of Ohio.
Okay, well, we can...
Actually, it's a shithole.
I don't want to say I disagree, but we can agree to move on from that statement.
Yes, fair enough. You're wrong, and we'll move on.
Okay. All I was saying, I think, was establishing for our loyal viewers that my 5th time on the show, I don't want to be identified as a secular music girl because I have much more to offer than that I...
Once again, a lie, but let's continue.
Okay, so can we give respect to the situation?
I'm trying to. I'm not trying to be
I know
mean.
you are. I know you are. But what is her name? Nate,
Leah Thomas.
Is it Leah?
Lia Thomas.
What was his name?
I don't know. I can't.
Okay. So I want to be clear because you did a great job and I know you feel that way, but respect and kindness is the point. We're not making fun of anybody. And you know, love is love and all the great things.
Thank you.
But at some point, the question becomes, what is fair and what is logical? And are you doing a disservice to somebody by elevating something else? And in this case, I think I was on my phone when we started because somebody on one of my Facebook groups yesterday, for some reason, I feel like it was Grove City Connect. No, it couldn't have been there.
No, God, no. Just so you know, that is a group on Facebook for people in Grove City, and it's supposed to be about yard sales and all that, and it becomes
Golden
hate
Corral
speech. Yeah,
and
people say
we want a Trader Joe's.
Right? Can we get a Trader Joe's? And then someone underneath it says, "You libtard," and then underneath it says, well, "I can tell you voted for," and gas prices are all. It becomes hateful, and the best part about that group is that it was shut down twice because of all the hatred in there. And then when they reopened it, they let all the same people sign up.
Can we do an episode on
we should
the
read
Facebook?
We should just read the comments. Like I'll give you half and then we'll just read what they are because some of them are hilarious in the nature that they're attacking a person they don't know, which is this society, right? It's the Twitter society. It's the people that, you know, I posted something one time that was a joke. It was, you all right?
Yeah, that coffee and just
revisiting. I thought you were passing out.
I think I might a little bit. That was just the Grove City Connect page. It really gets me a rise, man. It's whew.
Oh, I love to log into it.
Triple caffeinated. It's scary. Okay, but the Leah Thomas. So it wasn't on Grove City Connect. It must have just been on my feed in the morning, but I feel like it was someone from my high school. And I was trying to look for it, but I couldn't find it because I don't have any service. But if I find it, I'll put it in the comments here or I'll try to find it somewhere. But it was a picture of the last swim meet that she won. And regardless of race, size, or, different body types, it was her. It's the difference between you and me. I'm 6'2", and how tall are you? 5'1"3/4". Right. So it's the difference between the two of us swimming against each other. I don't have to be the best swimmer, but physically I'm just bigger. Yeah. Right. So in the pool, if you ever watch Olympic swimmers, they're all big, tall, lean people. Because when they're the difference in your fingertips touching before the other person could literally be half an inch. If you're 6'4" and the guy you're swimming against is 6'2", you got a better shot, right? Well, imagine that you're 6'4" and these girls are 5'4". It's the length of a pool is what we're talking about. Yeah. So in addition to the physical, we have this whole kindness. I don't want to merge together ideologies or causes because the love is love thing. I don't know what cause that aligns with, but universally speaking, accepting somebody's choice of who they want to be should be separate from a competition type venue. If you put Arnold Schwarzenegger against me in a female bodybuilding competition, I don't know. I guess it'd be kind of funny to see him in a sparkly tankini. I'd like to see him do cartwheels. Yeah. But in terms of judging muscular definition, who's going to win? I mean, and he can say that he's identifying as a female that day, but does it make it fair? There is somebody that did that. Have you ever seen, there's a guy named Zuby. I guess he's a rapper or something, but it seems like he's more of a political, I would say he's more maybe moderate to right wing. He's not from this country, but he's seen other countries get destroyed by these same political influences. So one day he said, I identify as a female, and he broke all the weightlifting records for this competition. And then afterwards renounced that he was a female, but the records still stand because he set them as a woman. And he was trying to make a point, and they said, no, we have to recognize you because you won as a woman. And I think that, again, my opinion on it is this shouldn't be happening because you're punishing females at a time when we're supposed to be pro-female in this country. Where are the feminists? Where are the... Well, the feminists have now taken the side of
Leah Thomas, because now you're saying you're a woman. I think it's weird that we live at a time where you're taking opportunity away. I think that this dude was like 431st in the men's division.
Yeah, that was the GIF or the meme.
Right.
And then first in the women. And still, again, though, be clear that it's not the identity that is the problem. It's that you're merging
It's the physical
the competition.
attributes that is the problem.
Yeah. But what was the...
While you're trying to put that together, here's the other point I want to make about this. So it's collegiate, right? So this could go to the next level at an Olympic level, because if you're the number one swimmer in the world, now you're going to have to swim against other countries who aren't going to allow this to happen. So now you have a whole nother candle you're going to light. I want to go back to the beginning, though, of Title IX. Do you know what Title IX is?
Go ahead and enlighten our viewers.
Title IX is meant to help women's sports, because before, women's basketball teams, softball, anything that doesn't make money has to be funded by the school. So if they would lose money there, they would cut the programs. So you could have an intramural team, but you could never play against other schools. Title IX wiped all that out and made sure that colleges funded those programs. So when you see a girls softball team, just know no matter how good that softball team is, it still loses thousands of dollars every time that they put on a game, because people don't buy tickets other than the parents. So when you see Alabama football, and I think they make on average like $2 million every Saturday they're playing at home. Part of that money goes to fund the women's softball team, cross country, lacrosse, and all that, because they don't make money. If you're going to allow this to happen, Title IX can go away, because what's to stop 9 more men from being on that swim team, win every event, and now those women who are on scholarship as part of Title IX can lose their free rides to college. You're going to undo a system that's been around 30 or 40 years, and it's unfair to any female that has to look at it and say, well, this guy was a running back in high school, and all of a sudden now I'm swimming against him, or he's on the track team, or any of that. And I think there was a man that became a woman and was on a track team, and he was blowing all of them away. There is... your genetics make up more of a difference in your physical attributes versus what you identify as. And I think that's an unfair situation.
That's the piece that I was trying to gather. One of the one Facebook that I saw talked about the hormonal differences between males and females. And I think that is so much more important than, the identity piece. Like, you can be supportive of somebody's identity, whatever your beliefs are. You can, step away from it and mind your own, or you can be supportive to the cause. Whatever your spiel is, or your stance, your wholehearted, belief, still shouldn't be merged together. Now, on the other side, there's women playing football in men's leagues and fighting to play. Did you see that? I think it was in the...
I know about the kicker that they signed at Vanderbilt, and part of that was a stunt, because they were saying she did kick an extra point, but they were going to have her do kickoffs and all of that, because the coach there, Derek Mason, was about to get fired. Vanderbilt's one of the worst. It's unfair, because Vanderbilt is a school that brilliant kids get into, but they have different academic standards, right? So it's kind of the same thing with the gender thing. If it's harder to get into Vanderbilt, it's going to be harder to get Division I 5-star players to go to Vanderbilt, because the coursework is so much harder. So they brought on, I forget what her name was, but she squib kicked after to start the second half, and then she kicked an extra point.
Can you elaborate on squib?
So normally you'd see a kicker try to kick it in the other end zone, or at least kick it 50 yards down the field. A squib kick is I kick it like I'm an infant, and I just try to get it to roll on the ground so people fall on it. Oh. But ceremoniously, she's the first woman to play college football. That's fine. If you want to have open tryouts and you want a woman to be your kicker, that's completely fine. I want to see the first woman that's an offensive tackle and puts up with that. And I don't mean that to be mean. I'm saying I don't care. At this point, before the pandemic, sports meant a lot to me. My whole life was about sports.
Should we say BP? like BC and BCE.
Oh, I like that.
Now it's BP. It is a time. It is a time. I've said it
You
like
coined the phrase, and we're going to use that. BP, sports was everything. Like, I literally spent $300 a month so I could have the NBA ticket, NFL, baseball. If it was sports, that's all I was watching.
BP?
I didn't want BP.
No? BP. Okay.
Now, PP, post-pandemic, I don't watch any of that shit. Because when you sit there and you realize that there were so many people protesting, you had athletes wearing Black Lives Matter shirts, which is fine. That's your prerogative. But you're touting another thing that we have an election and everything is so racially motivated and sexually motivated in terms of gender and all that. You elect somebody else and it didn't matter. All those causes raised money for what? Nothing has changed. It's only gotten worse for the general public. It didn't advance anybody's cause. So to me, if it's just for entertainment, I'm on the other side where let this dude swim. I don't even care. Now, I say that I have a 15-year-old daughter that plays basketball and plays volleyball. I will say this. If my daughter was playing against a man, and actually it did happen. There was a boy that played on the girls' volleyball team against her. And so she looked at me. This is like 7th grade. And she looked at me like, this shouldn't be happening. And I said, go play. Go play. But if you get the chance, make that person regret the fact that they're playing, whether it's a man or a woman. Beat the living shit out of that kid. If a boy was playing against my daughter, you're playing just the same as everybody else. So if you get knocked on your dumper, I don't care. That's part of the game. You have to play as though the person that's on that court or on that field is just another opponent. What I don't want to see is it takes a spot away from somebody else that deserves it. That's all. And those girls that lost, there was a group of 3.
Yeah, that's the picture I'm talking about.
They were huddled together, almost like they were going to take a separate picture. It is a little bit of stolen valor, I think, I'm the best swimmer in women's NCAA history or this year, because you're robbing these other girls that are competing against each other. But if you're not going to do anything about it, I just worry about the kids that are in, like, what's to stop a baseball player from saying, I want to play on the softball team?
Well, the GIF I sent you the other day was I'm identifying GIF. What is it?
Well, GIF is peanut butter. I just wanted to be, I want them
What's
to
wrong
understand.
with that?
Nothing, but a man covered in peanut butter swimming would be a lot different.
Okay.
Google that if you want.
The photograph was I'm identifying as a cyclist today. And it was a motorcycle.
That's right.
It was a motorcycle and like the Peloton. What's the race? Or like the Tour de France. Well, who's going to win? The cyclist or the motorcycle? Right. I mean, and that was, I don't know. When I left or after law school, I was a personal trainer.
Kendra went to law school, if you don't know that from listening to all 1,000 shows she's on.
I was a personal trainer for like 10 years. And anatomically speaking and physically speaking, I don't think it's fair. Now, with that being said, I played co-ed indoor soccer in my 20s. I loved that. That was fun. I liked playing with women and men, and we were pushing each other down, and sometimes it got really funny, and sometimes it got really sucky and raw and challenging and scary a little bit, running straight towards a bigger man. That's kind of scary for a 5'2" girl.
For Nate.
But I signed up for it and I wanted to do that. And it was a co-ed soccer league. But I think the roles are different when we start getting into collegiate sports and professional teams. I feel like there's a different thing. If you know you're going up against a different, I don't even want to say
species,
gender. No, just a different sex. I think knowledge and whether it's voluntary or makes a big difference. And for what it's worth, I don't think it's fair. I also wouldn't think it's fair for, Arnold Schwarzenegger to be in my little fitness competition, as much as I don't do fitness competitions that aren't drug tested because I don't use any anabolic steroids. And now sometimes I do compete.
Jesus, I thought you were going to say sometimes I do steroids.
No, sometimes. And I don't have anything wrong with people that do. It's just like I don't do Botox, which I'm still considering because my 11s are really bad.
What's an 11?
You don't know what an 11 is?
What does that mean?
It's on like posters in your dental office.
I don't go to the dentist.
You don't know
I
what
fix
the
my
11
own
is?
teeth.
Scratch.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you've got the 11.
Is that a good thing or is that bad?
It's a bad thing. It's the number 11 of my wrinkles.
Oh, now I see it.
Yeah. Is there
God,
three?
You look
ones
like
or
the lady that kept that girl with the long hair in a tower. Stay focused, please.
That's what I'm saying, though. I don't mind.
Oh, the enhancements. Sorry.
Enhancements. Yeah. I don't, I have nothing against any of that stuff or steroids or anything. But if I'm going to compete in an association that doesn't drug test, that's my choice. And I know that I'm going. It's like when I competed in the Arnold in 2014 was my last show. I did fitness. That was not a drug tested thing. There were women with augmentations, with prior steroid usage. They've done cycles. I don't know a ton about that kind of stuff. But I willingly did that knowing that I was going to be against other women. And I was fine with that. I don't care. But to the same effect, if those other women knew that they were going to be matched with a genetically
enhanced,
a different sex and 6'4". Now, what if there was a 6'4" woman in there? Whatever.
My God, she'd be a beast.
Right? Those that arm span of butterflies would be awesome.
She'd be single her whole life.
No, whatever. But yeah, I don't think it's fair. I don't think
Well,
it's fair.
okay, so let's take it to another step. Eric Adams, who's the newish mayor of New York City, also a unitard, said it's time for Major League Baseball to have a woman to let women play. I think that he thinks this is like when you sign your kids up for soccer, like anybody can play. Because let's say they do that, and then I'm 46 years old. I know I look 30 with my 11, but when I look at this, why can't I say, hey, it's not fair that I didn't get to play Major League Baseball and I didn't get to make a minimum salary of $836,000? Why can't I say, hey, it's not fair. You should let me play. I think that the political influences that are coming into this are making this worse, because the lady that's testifying, I forget what her name is, but this is a woman that literally, this is true, sentences pedophiles to lighter sentences because she feels bad that they're the victim. Okay, just so you know, they asked her the question, what is the definition of a woman? And she said, I don't know. I'm not a biologist. So then you don't know that you're a woman. Like, I didn't even understand how that could come up. If you have people that are insisting there's no difference in genders, I would love to see a woman get signed by the New York Mets and watch that woman strike out 600 times but pay her anyway. It's not about, the people think that equality is everyone gets the exact same opportunity. It's not. Equality evens it for everybody, so nobody gets anything. If you have equity in something, that's completely different, where you've earned those steps, so you got the chance. So you were almost a lawyer. You went to law school. Anybody would let you be an attorney.
Well, especially if I identify that day.
As an attorney? Yeah. On another show that I do, I identify as an attorney, and he keeps saying I'm not an attorney.
Let's go today.
Simply because he said I never went to law school. I think that's unfair. You know what? Bullshit. I am going to, when I see Stan, I'm going to tell him that I identify as a lawyer. And if he says on the show that I'm not, I'm taking him to court.
All day.
And guess who's going to represent me? You with your almost law skills.
Yes.
I do that every episode. I do like that we have that Wonder Twin power. Yeah.
Team.
Like if we did the
we were going to write a book the one day.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great ideas that never come to fruition because we'll do this show and not talk for like 3 weeks. And then you're going to go, hey, weren't we going to do something that one day when we did this? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're like, never mind, I got to take a call. And then I'm like, this is a wonderful relationship.
But all we have to do is identify as that. We
identified as authors.
Yes, and wrestlers.
Yes.
And lawyers.
Please buy our book that doesn't exist. We identify that it's on a bookshelf right now.
Venmo, Kendra Carter _1.
What the hell? You're
buy the
going
book.
to show me
It
the
doesn't
receipts?
exist,
You're going
so
to show
they
me the
gotta
receipts? I feel like you're going to try to take some of my money away.
Not my problem.
I identify as broke. You have to fix that. Or you're a unitard. In summary, because I feel like we made a point 20 minutes ago, your feeling on this is that there should be, again, I don't divide them by gender. Find a bunch of other people that are like this fella and let him swim against them. That's my opinion. What do you say?
I'm telling you, I really want to find that Facebook post because it was so good. It wasn't about a separate division for trans because the records, I think we're also meddling together contact sports, team sports versus individual non-contact sports. So I think that's super important as well. But
see, you can't even divide that because think about it. If you're going to make a barrier to entry for anybody, someone's going to try to challenge it and complain. I think if it's going to be full go, let women try to play baseball. Let them try to play football and all that. But if it doesn't work out, I don't want to hear anybody complain.
I guess collegiate would be different than
that's what
major
I'm saying too.
league. Yeah.
I'm saying if a girl wants to play like Nick Mangold that played at Ohio State and for the Jets, his sister played offensive line, but she was built like an offensive line. She was the 300-pound kid. So she's already bigger than the other. I have no problem with that. Can she go to the next level and play? If somebody wants to give her the opportunity, I'm not trying to take away opportunities. What I am saying is I don't want to see other people get their opportunities taken because you're not good enough to do it in your own arena.
He is good enough. He just doesn't place where he wants to.
I still don't know what we're supposed to say. Let's just say Leah. It's unfair
Leah.
to those girls, but somebody allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
So again, as two authors and two lawyers
and wrestlers,
I think we've come up with a solution here, at least our opinion.
Well, I think the other solution is I firmly believe that it all comes down to yoga, and yoga means unite and yoke. And we are uniting together. We are. And I think I think we should end today's episode with namaste.
We will. And just on a follow up to that is that Kendra said she doesn't do any performance enhancing drugs, just yogi. You've been listening to Broad Street Radio. We'll see you next week.
Namaste.